watch a English news channel. So she watches the news channel which I studied in my book chapter. So in the people like my mother, who are the masses? What are they watching? And who are the people who are deciding it? What whose rape is gruesome enough to have a protest, capital mein protest karne ke liye, and who rape isn't? So these are the things which media has the control, and media controls and owns by the capitalist business owners of our country. So how the politics and everything's own comes to one women body, one community's women body, how one community, why it is so, if their casteism doesn't exist, why one women body is so important for you to decide if this is going to shown on a national television or not. If when I listen to debates and they say rape may caste matlab, but then why the caste comes when you have to telecast a story, you have to choose a story when you sit on your editorial table and you have to debate which story to show, which story doesn't, why you choose it. So this is always going to be there. This is always, I'm glad that Devjani and Rudra decided to write something like this, something so upfront and something so hot and on the table topic. And it's always going to be, because like I said, women body, specifically women bodies who are quote unquote unpure but still pure enough to rape, or pure enough to, like, make sure that you play power on her body. It's always going to be like that. So I'm very glad that we are here to connect, we are here to talk about it, we are here to contribute it. So I am happy listening to all of you. So that's there. I'm not taking much time. I think I have talked a lot. So sure, please go ahead.
All right. Thank you so much for bringing up so many important points. I I can just relate to a quotation by McLuhan, who says this: medium is message and medium is massage. So because it just brainwashes you at some ways, and it just communicates what it wants to communicate, and it wants to feed a particular narrative, a particular way of looking at a reality. So it's always important to deconstruct the media, and the way you brought up your own insights. So kudos to all the efforts. Like, I really feel really integrated by the fact that whose rape really matters, and for whom we come on streets, and for whom it's just a silenced narrative. It really matters in terms of editorial boards. So thank you for bringing up these gruesome realities to the fore. All right, let's go to the next contributor and speaker. Uh, I I do not know if Niharika is here, but Vinay, both of them are not here. So, all right. Next, we would go with Tanya Basu. If you are here, please
Yes, I'm
unmute
here.
you. Great. So I hope you are still a senior associate in the Knight Frank India Private Limited in
Oh, yes.
Occupation Strategy Solutions Department, and I am
Yes.
saying the correct information here.
Yes,
And
you are.
your research interest is on media, culture, communication, history, philosophy. You kind of have a broader interest in all the important sections. So, looking forward
Yes.
to really hear your experience, and if you want to share anything important, go ahead.
So basically, let me, so you can hear me, right?
Yeah, a little bit of your voice is breaking, but it's still audible, I would say.
Okay. So, first, let me introduce myself. And I'm going to keep it little very short because today is Mahashivratri, and I was waiting for my chance so that I can complete it and go to the temple and pour water. So first of all, let me introduce myself. I come from a very diverse background from the childhood only. I have been introduced to multiple people of multiple community because of my father, because he was in army. Okay. So I have traveled in traveled a lot of states and stayed with people with diversified culture, whether it's Dalit, Hindu, Muslim, everything. So during that time, I was not introduced to this thing. I was in a cell. I was in a small cell in a cocoon, right? So post coming out of that cell, when I did my graduation and masters in journalism and mass communication from Calcutta University. So why this? Why I thought of writing about Dalit women? Because one fine morning in 2021, I was reading Times of India, and in the opaque page, that is opposite to editorial page, there was a small section, a small article written on Devdasi tradition, right? So it was very small, but that small article given me a huge impact, like how ruthless, how cruel a community or a people can be towards the Dalit women. So if anybody is aware of it or not, I'm going to give you a small description about what Devdasi tradition is about. So basically, a pre-colonial area, it was a very pure thing, like, you are giving yourself towards the Lord and serving Lord and doing rituals in the temples and everything. But when the sisters invaded India and post-colonial, it transformed into prostitution, right? So the child, the small children were manipulated, girls were manipulated. At the age of 7, they were forced to get married to the god. And the name of god, they were raped brutally by the, upper caste people, the landlords, the police people, and irresponsible people. And due to which many children died because of STDs and, early pregnancies. And in this way, multiple, young daughters of India died. Multiple girls got humiliated. The parents were shut down by giving them money, bribes, or too much. As we all know how a rape is being covered in India, right? By giving money, like 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 3 lakhs. So yeah, so Pooja was also mentioning who are media to mention, like who is rape victims and who is not. Similarly, who is raped will get more money and who is raped will get less money. So this is how India is going towards. Unfortunately, it's not developing. I cannot see where it's developing. So yeah, so coming to my point, so this is a small bit what I've written about. I've written about the Desi tradition and how it has reformed and how people are coming in and talking about them. And I've also mentioned few influencers, not only male, there were certain male influencers as well who are working on the who are working for the Dalit women rights and giving their voice to through social media, which is a very beautiful and courageous thing. And also in my chapter, obviously I haven't got the book and I missed the opportunity to go to the international book fair, but I have mentioned to Rodro that to give me the copy if he gets it. So yeah, I will read everybody's book, but I will also request everyone to read my chapter as well, because for me, writing about some topic is not only about writing about a topic or a research paper. I have also incorporated 4 5 lines of poetry related to the chapter. So that is my personal contribution. Previously, also I've written one research paper where I have kept poetry starting of a chapter, of every chapter. So 4 to 5 lines of poetry. So yeah, that is my personal just towards my writing. So if I talk about my future possibilities of writing regards to Dalit women or not, yes, obviously, me and Roger were also planning to write something, but it was not happening as I'm fully corporate woman from 9 to 5 job, and it becomes really tiring, think, visualize and write. So yeah, I if I get the opportunity to write more and talk more, obviously I will give my contribution, be the contributor, and as much as I can present myself to writing or to talking about a topic, I will do my best and give my best towards the future. Thank you. That was nice.
Thank you, Tanya, for taking up the topic. And also, what I really liked about your insights is that you integrated your own personal passion and dedication also to your research. We often miss it because we tend to do the research for the sake of doing the research. So, as an academician and as a practitioner, that also means a lot. It shows your dedication, which you are also mentioning that how you really want to contribute to the societies for societal benefit in the end. So it really shows in your work. So thanks to you for bringing up and giving us this detailed explanation of your own contribution and why it matters in today's world. So over to the founder and director. In the concluding note to Jagosheni, my friend, my partner in Socioscopia, to talk about her own contribution. I'm very excited about it personally. And she is a postgraduate researcher with masters in sociology, which she already pursued from Jawaharlal Nehru University, and she is currently pursuing a second masters in psychology from Amity University. She also has diverse international, national, local level, international level publications, and doing really committed to serve towards gender equality, gender empowerment, and gender justice. And without any further delay, the floor is all yours, Jagoshani.
Thank you so much, Gurni, for such a lovely introduction. Thank you. I'm humbled actually, and I would also like to thank to, the editors, Debjani ma'am and Roudrajjal, for giving me such an amazing opportunity to be a part of such a relevant and important, editorial work. So thank you, and I would also like to thank everybody for joining. Both the contributors as well as the audience. So yes, so to talk about my chapter, I would like to begin by, briefly talking about like it was not just my chapter. So this is also special to me because I have co-authored with my mother, and she has not been in touch with academia for, several years, actually decades. So I kind of managed to convince her to, actually rejoin academia and write this paper with me because she is an avid reader as well as a watcher of Bengali cinema as well as so she is very much interested in all of these things, and so yeah. So I think that contribution has also enriched the paper. So I would like to begin by briefly introducing. I think most of us know who Nuti Binodini was. My chapter is regarding that, but I would like to briefly start by introducing her by and situating why she is central to this discussion. So Binodini Rasi, she was born in 1863, and she was one of the most celebrated actresses of the 19th century of colonial Bengal. And she entered theater at a very young age and went on to become a defining presence in the Bengali stage and Bengali theater, basically. So beyond her performances, she's also the author of Amar Kotha, or in English, My Story, and that I rather we interpreted in our chapter. So it is basically her autobiography in which she narrates her life as a woman, simultaneously admired as well as stigmatized in the context of colonial theater. So, our chapter engages closely with her life as well as her writing to rethink colonial Bengali theater as the space deeply structured by caste as well as gender hierarchies. So, this chapter also talks about the Binodini basically came from a socio-economically marginalized background. So, and she was associated with the the courtesan community, right? So in 19th century Bhadralok, so-called Bhadralok, or middle class, upper caste Bengali society, the idea of respectable women were expected to they were expected to remain within the domestic sphere, to maintain the Bhadralok identity, basically. So public space, or the public sphere or visibility, especially for women, that was equated with moral transgression, we can say. So actresses were rarely drawn from elite households or upper caste Bhadralok households at that time. So and they came from communities which were already stigmatized or marginalized in different socioeconomic and political spaces basically. So because even though colonial theater is often remembered as a progressive and modern space, it also sustained by the labor of women who were denied social legitimacy or um, respect. So on stage Binodini performed different mythological heroines, queens, goddesses and gods, as well as most strikingly the Vaishnava saint Chaitanya's role that she played, that is and definitely a role that we all remember. So she, you know, belonging to this lower caste, she embodied a revered male Brahmin saint, in a very powerful and I would say rather unsettling manner, and it also unsettled assumptions about caste, purity, and spiritual authority. So her performances suggest that sanctity and respectability were not innate, but also enacted, produced through discipline, repetition, and embodied practice, that we delved into in our chapter. So in that theatrical space, caste and gender identities appeared momentarily, destabilized. Sorry. So, however, this destabilization was also temporary in nature. So once, in the offstage, in a context of offstage, she was also repeatedly marked as a so-called fallen woman. So the term noti, which means, actress, increasingly carried a lot of moral condemnation. So public performances exposed her body as well as her identity to the gaze of primarily the male audiences, and that visibility was framed as so-called impure. So while upper caste women were idealized as secluded and pure, so-called, so Binodini's economic independence, mobility, as well as interaction with the male patrons became grounds for suspicion, as well as a lot of judgment. So the contradiction is also revealing here. So audiences could revere her devotional portrayals, yet critics question how a so-called fallen woman, quote unquote fallen woman, could embody sacred figures, right? So when a theater that had been promised to bear her name ultimately did not, so the reasoning was that such an association would not attract so-called respectable audiences. So this episode underscores the limits of her mobility and as well as her identity. She was indispensable as a performer, but denied the institutional recognition. So her autobiography, Amar Katha or My Story, therefore becomes an act of narrative reclamation. So through writing, she basically asserts authority over her own story, as well as exposes the hypocrisy of that time that consumed her talent with while withholding the dignity that she deserved. So she documents the emotional cost of being publicly celebrated, yet socially ostracized. So finally, I would like to, conclude by saying that, belonging from an upper caste background, we acknowledge the importance of reflexivity in our work. So basically, as so-called upper caste women writing about marginalized 19th century performer, we remain critically aware of our own positionality. And the structural privileges that shape our own identity as well as our own position in academia as researchers. So in conclusion, I would say that the chapter argues the colonial Bengali theater was neither wholly emancipatory nor entirely oppressive in nature. So there is, we can say, a contradictory nature was there. So it functioned as an ambivalent contested space, one that offered visibility and agency to women, but also simultaneously reproduced caste and patriarchal boundaries. Right. So through Binodini's performances and her self-writing, we see how she inhabited these structures, and they. She also challenged them in her own ways, right? And she also left behind a legacy that compels us to rethink modernity, respectability, and voice in colonial theatrical, India. So with that, I would like to conclude my chapter. I am looking forward to reading other chapters as well. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to getting my copy. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dagoshani, for sharing so vividly about not only your chapter but also about the entire how the theatrics play out in the back in the colonial times, and we can see how it is carried forward through the representation of our own everyday practices, like starting from our discussions in the initial rounds to till today we are practicing such things, and it shows how timely the book is and why the book is sold. Every copy is sold in the first book launch in the Delhi Book Fair. So how timely the book is. Without any further delay, we would like to conclude this book discussion series now. I am really sorry if anybody didn't get a chance, because I cannot see any other participants who have already shown their interest to also share their insights about the book discussion. But unfortunately, they are not here, or we have lost them on the track. So thank you so much once again to the editors, Dr. Debjani Sahu and Mr. Roudrajjal Dasgupta, for accepting our invitation to be collaboratively doing this book discussion series with Socioscopia. This has been a really privilege to also learn from other contributors. Thanks for your time to join. And we are really enlightened to get to know that you are really not only doing something academically but also trying to bridge it with everyday practices. And this is just the beginning. This is an ongoing discussion, this is an ongoing practice that is going to happen. So Jaggoshenia, you want to say something?
Yes, I think before that, Rodruda, you can say, I would like to, say something at the end. So.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. I just have to say two little words because Debjani ma'am is about to leave. So I'm just giving the vote of thanks to both of them. And then we can proceed, because we otherwise she would not receive the acknowledgement. So
I can wait for another 2-3 minutes. It's okay. You can conclude.
okay.
I think that's
So
what time we would take. Yeah.
okay, then over to Rodroda. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, first of all, again, lots of thanks to the entire team of Socioscopia, okay, and like those who are present, those who listen to us. So I have one small announcement. Since last month, every day I'm getting a lot of calls and texts from people over WhatsApp, LinkedIn, everywhere, that when will be the new stock would be available. Actually, to be very honest, during the World Book Fair, we actually ordered very limited copies because at that time we were unaware, okay, that whether people they would read our book or show it off. Okay, that's why we ordered very limited copies, minimal copies. But luckily, all got sold out at the book fair. So now the thing is that in our first copies, printed copies, what we did observe that there were some technical, like mistakes were there. There were a couple of images in that very book, so that few images were blurred and everything, few printing mistakes were there. So that's why we actually we are taking a bit of time. So probably within next week the book's new stock would be available, and this time like you can grab, you can order, you can recommend to people. So that's one announcement from my end, or our end rather.
That would be great, actually. We are
That's a
eagerly waiting.
brilliant news, honestly, because we have heard a lot of responses from other interesting participants, members, that when the book would be available, we are also looking forward to read the chapters, not just look at the title, but also the content. But now today we got a glimpse from other contributors as well. So really looking forward to it. And thank you for the announcement, because this is also live streamed. So yeah. And okay, so
Now I
thank
would
you.
Yeah, I would like to
Thank
add a few things here.
Go
Sorry.
ahead.
So yeah, so basically I think Debjani ma'am has to leave, but like I think Rodra can stay a little bit longer, like maybe for 5 to 7 minutes, if because it would be unfair if we don't give a chance to our audience to maybe if they have anything to add maybe or contribute, because it's an
Yeah,
interactive thing, right? A session. So we
yeah,
would to open the floor for the for the participants as well as the audience to maybe interact and ask anything, or maybe share your own views, like what if you have any experiences or any perspectives that you would like to share with us, basically, or any work that you have published maybe that you would like to share with us. You can definitely raise your hands and share with us.
yeah. And Rudroda, if you also want to say anything, I see your hand up.
Yeah, if anybody has to leave, they can leave definitely. But like, we would like to give the audience a little bit chance to, speak. Yeah, Dr.
Yeah,
Oli raised her hand. So please, you can unmute yourself and
Yeah.
share your views. Yeah.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Congratulations to the editors and the authors. First of all, this is commendable, for addressing issues that are, crucial and it needs attention, right? I have one question, to the authors, like, especially when we, work on such themes, right? It also challenges our thought processes which were we were conditioned into believing. It helps in deconstructing and reconstructing our own mindset. So did that happen with any of you? Like if you would want to share that experience, if you had any. Thank you.
Mm. I think the editors can also answer, like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
anybody.
I would like Rodra only to answer. I'm in a bit of rush, so I have to leave.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
But thank you. It was lovely interacting with you. Rest of the response, I think, Rodra, please, on my behalf, I would like you
uh,
to carry it on. Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah,
Thank you so much for
definitely.
joining.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. If you could repeat the question, actually, here the network is a bit, problematic. That's if you could repeat.
Yes, when we work on such themes, right? It also challenges our mindset. Uh, like the way we have been conditioned into believing certain practices or ideas. Like such themes, it helps in deconstructing and reconstructing our thought processes as well. So, did it happen with any of the with you or any of the authors?
Of course, it's a very pertinent, question that you have asked. The thing is that, like, of course, like every one of us, we have a preconceived notion, okay, and narrative, okay, in our mindset. So whenever we work on something, we actually, try to either portray from a very goody-goody lens, okay, or like, no, we will not, like, we don't want to cater to any kind of controversial stuff and all. Okay, so let's skip it in too much academic or like too much like that I said goody goody stuff and all. So the thing is that like it's always like what I personally feel, it's always good to counter attack, okay, or like to bring it in a very different notion and vision at the same time. So of course it happened with us, with me personally, when I discussed with Debjani regarding this entire, Beyond Dalit Women book concept. So we actually thought that, like we need to bring some kind of new notion, okay, which were not earlier there. So that's why, to be honest, if you actually read our book, the volume, so you will get that there are different kind of, like narratives we try to put from a popular cultural lens. Okay, for example, if we talk about cinema, comic books, okay, like as me and Debjani, both of us, we have written a chapter based on a comic superhero. Okay. So like the kind of a vigilante justice trope we try to use. So whatever chapters are there, each and every chapter you'll be able to see a kind of a different tropes are there. Okay. So of course, like we try to deconstruct it, that whatever previous works were already there, the existing work. So we tried if you can break that jinx and can bring with something new. So of course it happens with me personally when I work. I try to just go beyond the so-called stereotypical imagination. Okay, and so that's the thing. So whatever chapters we actually did select finally, and we put it in this book. So of course, all new aspect and narratives we try to bring together.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much to Dr. Oli Roy for brilliant question. Actually, very intriguing, and also to Rudroda for brilliantly answering to that question and really thought provoking. Provides food for thought for others. Is there anybody else who would like to share anything or question, comment on anything? Share your personal experience. Uh, the floor is all yours. Talk, discuss. Yeah.
Yeah, even like yeah, even our members, like our interns, if you all also want to participate, you
Yeah.
are most welcome. It's not just the audience. Yeah, you are also audience. So
I
yeah,
mean, you're also part of the audience.
yes, definitely. So you can also ask or share your own views, maybe. Okay, I don't think he has anything to say. So before ending, I would like everybody to fill out this registration link. Okay, so this is for certificate. I think some of us have left the meeting already, but like we can always share the link with them later on. But yeah, so those of us who are present now in the meeting, we can maybe fill out the registration link. It's there in the chat box, so you can just fill it out so that we can share your certificates with you in the coming week. That would be great. And it's for both the speakers as well as the audience. So yeah, we would request you to fill out the registration form for the certificate. Yeah, and
Oh,
we have also shared, sorry, Guni, just one
go
thing.
ahead.
Yeah. So we have also shared the speaker interest form. Like if you want to share your own, research with us, with our audience as well. So you can, obviously, you're most welcome to fill out the speaker interest form. As well as, if you also have any book that, you have published recently, you can also share that with us and we will soon reach out to you. And we would also be very grateful if you could follow us on LinkedIn as well as, WhatsApp as well as YouTube, because we will be coming up with a lot of new content as well as opportunities there. So as well as these events, we are live streaming this particular session as well. So yeah, yeah, Gurni, over to you. Sorry.
No problem. I think I have nothing else to say. So yeah, please follow us, and thanks to Rodroda once again for accepting the invite and to share your own experiences and answering also to Debjani ma'am, who has already left us but was there from the very beginning, gracing us with her presence and her intellectual knowledge as well as her practice. I am very grateful, and entire Socioscopia team is very grateful to all the contributors as well as the audience who have really been interactive throughout, sharing their own personal insights to connecting to their own lived realities as well as making like really insightful contributions in the domain, in not only in the academic sector but also in the practice oriented sector. For example, we were listening to Irene, we were listening to Pooja, we were listening to others as well who are really bringing out these aspects, Jaggosheni from theatrical standpoints. So, yeah, it was very enriching to learn about the entire overview of the book. Being so timely, we have understood it. So, grab your copies now, because also thanks to the announcement that it is restocking, and that's a great news. So, grab your copies now, and without any further delay, I would also like to thank all the interns, especially Kushumika, Moharna, Archana, Shoma ma'am, who were there in the back end supporting all the technicalities, or that's the most difficult part, I would say. So thanks to all the interns for not only joining Socioscopia but really actively contributing to all the work and endeavors that you're doing. You're doing a fantastic job.
Yes.
Without your support, this would not have been possible at all, because Jaggoshani, I and Riddhi, we are very small team from initially, so we also have a lot of mistakes ongoing. So thanks to all the backend team, and thanks to Jaggoshani for co-hosting and contributing and doing all the amazing stuff that you are also doing.
Thank
So thanks
you
to you.
for hosting this session so beautifully. You also deserve
Okay.
praise.
Yay. So yeah, and also I would like to wish you the good rest of the evening and rest of the day, depending on where you are based. And we are looking forward to the next book discussion session or the next academic discussion session that is coming up probably in the end of February with Lobsang's important paper. So that news should be also up in the socials. If you would like to join that session, it would be really nice. So thanks to you for all joining, and it was pleasure having you all in today's first ever book discussion series of Socioscopia.
Thank you.
So
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Yagashini, Ghurni, and the team of Socioscopia. Please, please, you know, proceed with
We
much
would be in
more,
touch
like the
soon.
way yeah, definitely. But yeah, the thing is that the way like all of you have organized this kind of event with so much of energy and so much kind of a support and everything, and like day-to-day updates. So really, really thanks. Okay.
Thank you so much, Rodroda. And yes, do share your other works. You have been, publishing very regularly.
Yeah, definitely,
Very inspiring. So
definitely.
share your other works with us as well. And yeah, and
Thank
even the audiences, like everybody, we would love for you to share your work, other works with us, so that we can share that with our audience. So thank you so much for joining today's session. Now we would conclude the session. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a good day.
Thank you. Bye.
thank you, thank
Bye.
you, thank you. Bye.